Are you building or are you burying? See, that's the question I've been thinking about a lot recently. Is all of us have been given talents, different resources, opportunities, skill sets, and the idea is we're supposed to do something productive with what we've been given. But are we burying or are we building? And I think you should think about that. And I've been thinking about it a lot recently because, maybe each of us have been given different talents and different capacities and skill sets, but we have to do something productive, or at least I believe, and I think you probably do too, that we should do something productive with what we've been given. And I know I've been burying my talents a lot recently. I think it's a combination of a lack of focus, maybe fear of failure, fear of man, fear of what other people think, because I don't want to build something and then see it topple over, right? That's not failure, but we think it is. And the other thing that I think is tricky is a lot of us are busy building something shallow. And that busyness looks like success by other people, to ourselves. And we're really just kind of building like sidewalks, really like nothing of like super value to the world. But I think we need to build something that's with purpose, and that'll give our life some passion back. So if you want to find your passion and your purpose, well, let's start building and let's stop burying. So what am I building? Well, right now I'm building a lot of things. And on this YouTube series, I want to document some of it with you. So stay tuned on this video. Let's talk about what I'm building. All right. Workout is complete. Let's take the flashlight off of you. We got 2 miles, 17 minutes, 11 seconds at a pace of 8:35. And that puts us to 6 miles on the week. So not a long run, but that brings me to the first thing that I'm building. I would say this is the least significant as far as purpose-wise goes, but easiest to talk about. I am building up for a marathon. Now, originally, my plan was to run a 50-mile ultra marathon next July. That's my goal, and that still is a goal of mine. But this brings me to an important lesson I think we can all learn when we're building something. We oftentimes have to look and we have to prioritize what time we want to give to each thing we're building. Now, usually we want to focus as much as possible. I happen to have a couple of things on my plate right now that I'm building, and so I have to be very strategic with my time. Most importantly, I'm building a family. I have a marriage and kids to raise, and so I'm trying to build a good, solid, intentional family. But that's always happening in the background. That always has to get time and energy. I also have a job that I'm doing, but I'm building. This is one of the things we're going to talk about. One of the things I'm building is I'm building up for a marathon. I don't know what marathon I want to run next year, but I have to overcome a couple hurdles. First of all, I have an ostomy, and we're going to talk about that more in this video and in lots of videos to come. But I'm also been having knee issues for the past several years. Anytime I build up to any significant mileage, my knee starts to hurt. So I have to overcome my ostomy and I have to overcome my knee issues. But that's the goal, is I want to run a marathon next year. I want to challenge myself. I want to prove to myself that my best days are still in front of me. And I want to inspire you to overcome your obstacles, your hurdles, and to train and to do something. So that's the first thing we're building, is we're building up for a marathon. Now, on the workout topic, vanity-wise, ever since my surgery, my ostomy, I want a 6-pack of abs, and I want to build a bigger chest. That's vanity. It's not really what I'm building for, but let's be honest. We're all vain to some degree, so there we go. I went from burying my talents to building lots of things, maybe too many things, but we're gonna see. So we're building for the marathon, and I'm really excited to share that journey and document that with you. I also started a new job in March with a new firm. We'll do that another day, but I really wanna talk about the business that I'm building. So years ago, I had a surgery and I have a permanent ostomy on me now. This is how I have a bowel movement. I have this bag on me. I have a hole in my stomach, and this is my real life. It might be uncomfortable for you to see or to hear about, but this affects every 5, 10, 20 minutes of my life. I'm thinking about it, feeling it, and I want to develop a better product. Right now, I wear this little band or belt, whatever you want to call it, And I tuck it in, and it kind of conceals it, keeps it hidden. And that way I can, put a shirt on, go to work, and for the most part, you don't see it. Now, if I go have a bowel movement, it's gonna puff up like a balloon and then it's visible. But that's my real life. If you're gonna follow me, you're gonna get the real thing. But I wanna develop a band business for people with ostomies, urostomies, to make their life better. And so I'm gonna document that journey. I started an LLC back in August, and I've been consulting with a company out of LA and out of Austin, Texas. I've had multiple phone calls with them, and I just signed a contract to build a prototype, to manufacture it, and to sell it. So not only is it gonna make my life better, but I really want to help people with ostomies. I want to inspire them that they don't have to live a life that's hidden, sunken back, right? That their life isn't over. When I had my first surgery, I can remember being in a dark place, and I thought, man, are my best days behind me? And so I made a kind of a personal commitment that I wasn't gonna let my ostomy hold me back, and that my best days were still in front of me. And so I really wanna help inspire people and make products and resources that are gonna help people go live again, right? To remember that they've got a daily battle that they have to fight, but I want them to put on their armor and to go fight it, right? Because their life isn't over. And so this company, right now, the name is gonna be Armor Bands, right? Armor to shield them, protect them, but also it's a warrior mentality that they're gonna go to battle. And so I hope, even if you don't have an ostomy, that you still follow along, because we're gonna be building a business, we're building websites, social media, we're doing all this stuff, and I wanna share with you kind of the behind the scenes, the build of the business, but I also wanna inspire people with ostomies. So thanks for following along. I've got one more thing I'm building I really want to talk to you about, and this last thing probably has the biggest impact. Let's talk about it. All right, the last thing I want to talk about on the build today is we are building a home church or some sort of ministry. And I say some sort because isn't it true we usually don't know what the end result or the end kind of product is going to be? We start with an intention or a vision, but we don't know where the journey is ultimately going to lead us. So we feel called and led that we are supposed to start a home church. Now, I believe there will be some sort of men's ministry and family ministry that is birthed at some point and comes from this. But right now, we are meeting a small group and having church services twice a month at our house. And why are we doing this? Whole different story. But we're trying to walk in obedience and take the next right step. And I think that's true in entrepreneurship with your family, whether you're starting a ministry or whatever it is you're doing, is you take the next right step. And then the next day you do the same thing. And sometimes you make a mistake or you have to, fix your mistakes or whatever. You have to course correct. But you just do what you think is the next right thing, and you keep taking action. And so that's what I'm learning right now. And I think the other thing that I'm learning early on in starting this home church is there's nothing wrong with slow, small, humble beginnings. We believe, or I believe, that, hey, if it were the right thing, it would be easier. We'd see more success. It would grow bigger. It would blow up faster, right? We would see a metric of success. And I think most of us tend to believe that. We start something and it's hard. And it's slow, and there's not much progress, and there's not much evidence or fruit that's coming from it, and we can get really discouraged early on. And so I want to remind you that when we start something new, whether it's a business, a new habit with your family, a ministry, whatever it is you're building, is oftentimes it's going to start small. It's going to be humble, slow, but just because it's hard doesn't mean it wasn't the right decision. Because most of the good things, I would say all of the good things in life, they're not easy. They take a lot of work and effort, and you have to stay at it. You have to learn from your mistakes, and it's just a part of the journey. So don't give up on the journey because the beginning is challenging. Oftentimes, and I think this is good encouragement, most people, they give up with that tension at the beginning. They can't overcome that obstacle of it's hard up front. So if you can get past that, then you've already separated yourself from the pack. So whatever it is you're building, build. Stop burying your talents. I hope this inspires you and encourages you to stop burying and to start building. So follow along, subscribe, and follow the build. We're going to talk a lot about the marathon, the business, some about the ministry, but I want you to take action, and I hope this inspires you. Until next time, be full.